as a result of one organ or a tissue protrudes into a cavity where it's not supposed to be. Mu Luganda osobola kugamba nti ekitundu kimu kyava where it was supposed to be nekigenda we kitakola ki
ekitundu ngaki organ
like yes an organ
nga onogamba ekibumba
naye but in most times now for this case like for the hernias in men we normally have the inguinal hernias and the scrotal hernias and the major organ that protrudes here is the what the intestines nekirira wansi mu inguinal regions no mu scrotum yes kati obwevaayo ekyenda bwe kiva waggulu ne kikirira wansi eno
organ kyetera omuvinga
intestines
ekyenda
kituuta ekyenda yes
kiva gye kirina okubeera eno mu
lubuto
ne kigenda eno nga mu bitundu
by'ekyama wansi so ne kiyitira wano mu canals we have some canals eziri wano mu Grains region yeah so ne kiyitira
emikutu
eyo yes so sometimes in English we can call them weakness areas of weaknesses okay kati ekyenda kino ne kikirira wansi ne kisobola kustopingira wano mu inguinal regions or ne kikola ki ne kikirira wansi paka ddala mu scrotum yes kati obukimala ne kivaayo ne kitandika kuzimba ekyo kye tuyita ki hernia
ebiseera ebisinga abalwadde ba hernia bakwata nnyo wano ku lubuto kati ekizimba mu scrotum kyekyo wawulirako ku kinanansi
ekinanansi sikiwulirangako unless maybe if it's translated in English
I don't know how to say it in English also naye omusajja azimba the scrotum enlarges nekizimba we kiti nga tasobola na kutambula nga it's painful I think
okay now if the scrotum of the man it has swollen abnormally. Now, there are majorly two things which normally rise to that. One is that hernia, whereby the intestine, evudde waggulu mu lubuto, nekirira wansi mu scrotum. Another thing that can cause it is what we call hydrocele. Yeah, amazzi negakola ki? Negekunganyira mu busajja wansi. Kati ngafa abasawo tusobola kufuna engeri tusobola kukola ki? Ku differentiating ebintu bino ng'ebibiri. Hernia na hydrocele.
Wamusobola okwawula. Kale, lwaki hernia asumbwa nnyo abasajja compared to women?
Now, ensonga lwaki hernia esinga nnyo okutawanya abasajja kira abakyala. Okusooka n'oddayo emabega kulaba hernia zino zijja zitya. Ojja kulaba nti most of the predisposing risk factors they are so much common in what? In men.
Ebisingo zireeta biri nnyo mu baami.
Mu basajja. Kati tulina engeri tugamba nti hernia zino kuva katugambe ng'ekyenda kino kuva mu lubuto ne kikirira wansi mu inguinal region through the inguinal canal to the testicle. Now, there are some underlying forces. Waliwo amaanyi akabeera mugamba kukaka.
Kikakibwa.
Yes, negakipushinga. And one of these factors we call them straining or excess lifting of very strong things.
Kuba abaana abalenzi bakuzibwa basitula ebintu ebizito.
Kati obobeera ositula nnyo or increasing you put a lot of pressure on these abdominal regions ira wansi. Ate oba ogenda kulaba abakyala tebasitula nnyo ebintu ebikola ki? Ebizito. Kati ensonga lwaki ogenda kulaba nti abasajja hernias we call them the inguinal canals. Kati eyo lyali kubo ly'obusajja bwe waayita the testicles where they passed. Ate abakyala bo tebaziina ezo canals, they don't have those canals.
Passages ezimu I've had like when it gets cold or when a man is never hitting a private parts the
testicles
they go up.
They they don't go back up into the inguinal region, but they coil upwards. But now, in inguinal canal, it was a passage of the testicle during your early development where the testicles passed to go down into the scrotum.
So they don't close.
Now, by an abnormality, it can be a congenital abnormality. The way you were created, it happened by accident. Yes, neta closing bulungi eyo canal. Okay? So it leaves some gap and ends up forcing these abdominal organs to pass through. Yes, and another thing can be as a result of an error during a surgical operation, especially the pelvic surgeries. Okay, so there can be cause of weakness of these abdominal wall muscles. These muscles, so it can be by accident there was a weakening of these muscles. Kati oboddayo n'ofuna ekintu ekikuleetera pressure mungi mu lubuto, ekyenda kitwala ki nekiyita mu mangu nekikirira wansi. So yansonga lwaki abakyala tebagenda kufuna ezo kind of
oba otumenyereko ebiri common
hernias nyingi. Kati tuyina ezo zituyita scrotal hernias mu basajja, eyegenda wansi mu basajja bafunye obuzimbazimba nga wano, and after the doctor's diagnosis we end up concluding that this person has an inguinal hernia. Then we also have
ezo ziri mu basajja,
zitera nnyo okubeera mu basajja, naye omukyala naye asobola kufuna some inguinal hernias. Naye scrotal is specifically for what? For men. Then we also have what we call incision hernias.
Incision
hernias. Ngenda kuwa example nga gwe omukyala obalongoosa okola of these abdominal wall muscles. Okay, now when oboddayo n'ofuna any activity that causes straining, katugambe n'ositula ebintu ebizitowa, abantu abakolola nnyo. So if there happened to be a line of weakness that was caused by an accident during an abdominal operation, so these intestinal organs, these abdominal organs, the intestines, they can penetrate through that line
those
of
walls.
Weakness. Yes. So you end up developing. So you can cause any weakness and you end up developing a what? An incision hernia. Yes. Then we also have yali atutonda buli kintu yakikolera boundaries. Ekifuba kina boundary yakyo which is caused by the what? By the diaphragm. Nekiseparating ki olubuto n'ekifuba. Now, in this kind of situation where we have hernias in the chest, ekyenda kiva wansi nekidda waggulu nekiyitira muki mu diaphragm omwo. Engeri nsoose kugamba nti hernia eno kudevelopinga the barrier yafuna muki in weakness. Kati nga wano mu kifuba eyo diaphragm esooka nefuna ki weakness, any line of weakness. Kati now when there is an increased pressure yesinga barrier yotaddeko, ekyenda kikola ki kiba kiyitamu. And this one has been so common with people who have chronic ulcers. It gives them a lot of pain. The intestines moves up and gives them a lot of discomforts. Yeah, there's also that kind of hernia. Then we also have abdominal hernias. You have heard of olabyeko ng'abaana wano ekundi mulite ekundi mu Luganda lizimbye ennyo.
Ab'ekikundi ekinene.
Ekikundi ekinene. Most times it is a what? It is a hernia. Kati ekyenda, remember omwana bw'amala kuzaalibwa ne tusalako kiri ekundi eryo. Kati kino ekituli emukiwa gye waali eyita, it has to start closing slowly egenda ne closing mpola. Naye by an abnormality, a defect, some of them teziclosinga ki teziclosinga bulungi. Kati ekyenda kitandika kukola ki kibeera ne kiyitamu mpola kiyitamu because of the result of the pressure that is being developed in the abdominal region. Yes. So we have, I'm sure you have seen some children who have those kind of enlarged
so abantu abakulu betulaba nga baali bato nga balina ebikundi nga tebakyabirina baba operatinga oba it gets time nekiwona.
Na kati waliwo options bbiri. Waliwo okugamba nti ekituli ekyo tikyazibikira bulungi tikyakilozinga bulungi nekigenda nekikilozinga mpola hernia nekola ki neddayo. Because sometimes some of them are not operated, just watch them and they disappear by themselves. Kati amukama n'abakoze ki akuyambye n'akiggala ekyo ekituli hernia nekola ki neddayo. Naye abalala it fails to close up completely and the only option they have is what? A surgical operation. Kati ensonga lwaki walabangako omwana omuto ine ekundi eddene ate after some time noddamu n'olaba nti kyavaawo. So those are the major two reasons. Either he was operated or kyaddayo kyokka. Ate eyo canal, that opening which was there nekola ki closing. Yeah.
Okay. So the single kubeera common. Eya scrotum
mubana
wano mubana mukundi neno waggulu mu kifuba. Okay. Kale kakati mu ziriza mbaana zineza wana abami n'abakyali za scrotum strictly baami ezeeno ffenna tusobola kuzifuna neza wano ez'ekikundi wano ffenna tusobola kukola ki kuzifuna. Yes. Kale kakati omuntu alina hernia signs ne symptoms zeziriwa atandika oli mwana muto basobola okukwata ng'olina muntu mukulu.
N'omuntu omukulu hernia okufuna.
It
can develop at any age time. It has no restriction kugamba nti eno ya mwana muto eno ya muntu mukulu. Tezina restriction yona.
Tuyinza labira bubonero ki obusinga.
Obubonero obusinga nnyo okugamba nti omuntu alina hernia nawe ng'omulwadde osobola kugiraba nti ofunye ekintu ekizimbye kijja ng'ekizimba. Kati ekizimbe ekyo sometimes it becomes painful. Sometimes kijja nekimala nekidduka nekijja nekigenda kati ako ke kabonera akasinga kabuli omu asobola kola ki kulabira wanti ayina ki hernia kijja ng'ekizimba. Ate original ekyo kintu kyali tekiriiwo. Katugambe kati ng'ekundi wano tandika okuzimba ate with time n'olaba neddayo mpolampola. When you strain nezimba nnyo kati ako kayinza kubeera kabonero k'omuntu ayina ki hernia. The same applies to the scrotum or the inguinal hernias. Okay?
Inguinal scrotum nayo enlarginga. Then the inguinal hernias, how do I tell that?
How do you tell now? We know that the inguinal region, there are these parts where our legs separate. If I might speak it in a layman's understanding, where our legs do what? Separate. Now, the moment you start seeing any swelling, abnormal swelling, that originally was not there. It could be a sign of what? Of the hernia. And this hernia can be painful or it may not be painful. Kasita bw'olaba nti watandise kujjawo ekizimba. Okay? Kayinza kubeera kabonero ka hernia or it can be another disease. Naye with the time kibeera nekiprogressinga with the complications omuntu n'otandika kufuna ki obulumi. Yes, those are major things that you can always look out.
And eno waggulu mu mawuggwe
eyo mawuggwe. Now the major sign that you can always look out is chronic chest pain. Okay, you have treated your ulcers, pain is not going, you have done all tests of the heart, there is nothing happening with the heart is very okay until after further investigation that you find out there is what? There is a hernia in the chest. So the major symptom that it will give chest pain. Sometimes it gives nausea, vomiting, and loss of appetite. Because it has affected the digestive system. Chances are high that you will do what? You will start having vomiting. You vomit out something.
Njawuliramu ku hernia ebeera painful, natally painful and why is it not painful? And why is the other one painful?
Kati ekireetera hernia kubeera painful, waliwo processes hernia zino buzibeera zikula. Engeri nkugambye nti ekitundu kimu kiva wekiina kubeera nekiyingira ewalala. Now, I will give a small demonstration. Now, if this intestine is passing through the inguinal region, okay? If the inguinal canal was big, okay, and it hangs out freely, chances are high hernia eyinza kutakola ki? Kutakuluma. Naye kati singa ekituli kino weeyise ne kibeera narrowed, okay, there is what we call incarceration, trappinga. Oyingidde munda naye you be trapped inside, you be squeezed. Okay, now there the hernia starts being painful. Now after that incarceration or trapping of that organ mu canal eyo, sometimes it ends up cutting off blood supply. Omusaayi ne gutadda mu kukola ki? Kutambula. Kugenda mu ekyo kitundu ekivudde mu lubuto. Yeah. Now the moment that trapping or incarceration starts happening, that organ is going to be squeezed out. And the moment there is too much pressure applied on it, it is going to do what? To become painful.
Okay.
As the squeezing keeps on going, it ends up cutting off blood supply.
Okay.
Kati ekitundu ekifulumye, blood supply cuts off, it starts dying. And the moment it starts dying, that's when you start having the pain. Yes. So that's how you can differentiate that this one is has been incarcerated or it has not been incarcerated.
Okay.
Yeah.
When should I worry? And how dangerous or bad can it be?
You need to, at the moment you see an abnormal swelling that has happened where it was not originally is.
Okay.
Because you don't know at any time it can be trapped. Okay? The moment chibera free hanging like this, swinging around, any moment it can be trapped. And the moment it gets up trapped and it stays there for a long time, blood supply cuts off, it gets what? Strangulated. So it can happen at any time.
Okay.
So the moment gwolaba nti ofunye kizimba which you originally didn't have, chiri better n'okolachi, you be worried and you seek medical advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abantu abamu bawangala ne ehani yeyo n'agamba yamukwata akyali mwana muto ne kakati agirina kati ate yeyo ebeere. Kati
ekyo kiba kitegeeza eryekubo ekitundu bwe kyayita linene nnyo. That organ cannot be trapped and it cannot be strangulated there.
Okay.
Because singa eryekubo ligenda ne linafuwala, or it has entered in a place and it has been trapped and it gets strangulated there. Of course, there it has to be a medical emergency and it has to be operated there and then.
Okay.
Yeah. Naye kati omuntu akugamba amaze hernia ebanga ddene, it literally means that where that organ has gone.
Ekyo ekigambo ky'obadde okozesa strangulated kitegeeza ki? Strangulated hernia.
Strangulated hernia. Strangulated hernia, it means that kino ekitundu, let me use an example of the intestines. Efulumye where it was supposed to be, cut where it went, it was trapped. After it being trapped, it cut off blood supply. Now after cutting off blood supply, that intestine which has moved out, it starts dying. That's what we call a strangulated hernia. Yes.
Okay.
After cutting off blood supply, and
so what happens when it dies?
It starts rotting. Yeah, it starts rotting. That's when you start developing abnormal pains.
Okay.
And the moment you see that, it is always an emergency operation to reverse back that. Because now, for example, if it happens like in the abdominal, within the abdominal region, and it gets strangulated, it will end up causing obstruction. The bowel movements they are going to cease out, and the moment the content in the stomach or in the intestines stops moving, also that one becomes an emergency. So after it being trapped and you cut off blood supply, it is strangulated there and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kakati otuba tudda kuki?
Now after this hernia being strangulated, remember, you put it somewhere where it was not supposed to be, you cut off blood supply, and then that organ has started dying, it has started rotting. Of course, there and then, that swelling has developed abnormal pain. So the immediate remedy that is there is an emergency operation.
Okay.
Yeah, because the moment that organ starts rotting, it can perforate, and it pour all the content that it has where it was not supposed to pour there. Then sometimes it can end up resulting into an intestinal obstruction. And the intestinal obstruction, those are always surgical emergencies. So